Now, our first guest became one of the biggest icons of the noughties indie music scene. She was an it girl of an era that was defined by skinny jeans, side fringes, and smudged eyeliner.
What a time to be alive, Tracy, but
young.
we're way too young. Yeah. Since then, singer and actor Kate Nash, stop laughing on the floor. Yes, you heard me correctly. Kate Nash topped the album charts with her debut album. She won a BRIT Award and starred in a Netflix series, Glow.
And nearly 2 decades on, she continues to be a trailblazer in the industry.
Please welcome Kate Nash to the 6 o'clock show. Wow, will I feel old watching that?
I know. How old were you there?
I think 18, 19. I can't really remember.
And it's an iconic song. Like, what do you feel when you're watching back to 2007?
I feel a lot of strange things, to be honest. It's a lot to go back. It feels like that long ago to me.
It does, okay.
And actually, I tell you what, sometimes looking back freaks me out because I've been through a lot of weird stuff. I've had quite a weird life. And I was quite scarred by some of the things that happened to me early on. But when I play that song live now, it's so cool to have a song where you know everyone's going to go crazy and have this euphoric kind of moment.
Yeah.
It's like this kind of little gift. And now it's taken on a life of its own where when I sing it, people don't look at me. There was this change where it's now something that they do. They're like waiting for that song and then they perform it with their sister or their mum or their mates.
Okay.
So when I'm like singing it, I see people like acting it kind of out with each other and it's like such an old song now. It's become its own thing.
Yeah.
So it's got all this memory attached to it for people. It's quite amazing to see that happen.
Do you see new audiences?
I think Made of Bricks is a really good entry point for like kids because it's storytelling and quite theatrical. And so I'm so lucky to always have kids in the audience. People bring their kids now and I'll have really young teenagers and stuff coming. It's like I feel like I always have this new generation. And I feel like that's a really amazing thing to keep being able to have. That I always have teenagers at the front of my shows. I just think that Made of Bricks connects with young people. So I feel really lucky to have that.
How many lemons did you have to eat? A lot. And lemons are bitter.
Oh my God, wow.
That could not have been enjoyable for you, no?
A little bit enjoyable.
A little bit.
Like a little bit of pain, you know.
Nothing wrong with that. Fans will get to see you on stage later this summer. Tell us all about the Galway Arts Festival.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Galway International Arts Festival in July with Sophie Ellis-Bextor. I've been spending a lot of time in Galway. I've been recording some music in Spiddal. So Galway is almost like a second home to me now. And actually my family are originally from there. So my granny and granddad are from sort of Athenry, Headford area. And I've been spending a lot of time on the West Coast.
Did you spend your summer holidays there then?
I spent all my summer holidays in Ireland, yeah.
So you had summer holiday memories as a kid growing up in Ireland?
Yeah, in Cavan and Sligo with my cousins, and my mum's from Dublin, and we were I think, one of my main memories from when I was little was being trapped in the back of a Volvo, like throwing up and then running around.
On the bumpy roads?
Yeah, running around fields and having a lot of freedom, but I didn't appreciate it as much. And then I wanted to sort of make these pilgrimages as an adult. And I was like, I want to be in the driver's seat. And so I've done a lot of road trips by myself around Ireland and really come to appreciate just how much beauty and freedom that we had as kids and really kind of connect with it myself rather than
Have you always felt that connection growing up to Ireland, especially with your mum being Irish?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, it's really important to my mum, and it was really important to my granny, and my first instrument was the tin whistle, and I went to an Irish Catholic school, and we had, a lot of Irish Catholic community around us in North Harrow. I went to St John Fisher, which, Mrs Curran stuck all the Irish kids in tin whistle lessons, and bless my parents for putting up with us practicing, because that, is something that I've actually returned to in the past few years, is playing tin whistle and reconnecting with my musical route. It's like I grew up listening to all this music, Sharon Shannon, and, seeing it live, but not really understanding that was where I was from musically. And so that's become more important to me in my late 30s. I think something happens where you just kind of want to understand yourself a bit more. And you start going why am I the way I am? And what is, why is my family the way that they are? And I've been able to do that through my music.
Is that why you covered Sinead O'Connor's song? Your most recent single is Famine, and it's a cover of Sinead O'Connor's famous single, Famine, and there's tin whistle in that as well. Is that you playing?
Yes, that's me.
Well done.
Thank you.
Fab. And is that why you chose that song, to feel closer to your Irish roots?
Yeah, I wanted, I was revisiting her catalogue when she died, and Sinead is obviously a big inspiration to me. And I relate to things that she said where she kind of accidentally became a pop star and she was a protest singer. And I wouldn't really class myself as a protest singer, but I connect to not really fitting into that world. And I suppose like songs like Germ and like some of my newer music is a lot more political. And it was quite audacious to cover that song, but I felt like being half English, half Irish, I did actually have something to say. And this rise in nationalism and this sort of obsession with the flag and a rise in fascism, frankly, is something to be commented on, and like immigrants being blamed for so much at the moment. I felt like this song is even more relevant, and the fact that we don't get taught our history. Like when I say the English don't know their history, I'm talking about myself too, because I'm half English. And I was never taught about Ngortomor at school. And I realised there was this huge gap in knowledge. And actually, in an age of like everybody blasting their opinion on social media, I sort of want to step back and listen and learn. And then like, I think if we erase process, which I think social media and I suppose AI now is about erasing process. And I think if you erase process, you're erasing thinking. And for me, like if I have process, there's steps towards something. If I blast something on social media, it's thoughtless, it's reactive. And I think as an artist, it's my responsibility to think and put things into my work. And then I know that I can sort of trust what I'm saying more.
Yeah, and it really brings heart to the song as well.
Yeah, because that's why I added my own verse, because I felt like I want to acknowledge that, you know, I am half English. I grew up in London. I was born in London, and I have something to say about what's happening in England at the moment too.
Yeah. You've been writing since you were a teenager, but had your first #1 at 18. The music industry has changed so much over the years. What are the biggest changes you've noticed?
Well, streaming, you know, is the biggest change since I put out, and my contract doesn't even really include like streaming being this global, the predominant way that we listen to music. And in my opinion, the streaming services steal from artists. We're paid 0.003 of a penny per stream. And when I signed a deal, you know, I signed with Universal, and they take 80% still of all of my earnings from my first 2 records.
Wow, 80%.
It's a very exploitative industry. And so I've been like pretty vocal about that, because I am in a position of privilege. You know, I have Made of Bricks in my catalogue. And even though I'm only getting 20% of that, it means it kind of gave me an international name, an international platform. But the doors are quickly closing on working class artists being able to have a music career, because you need at least 800,000 streams a month to be earning minimum wage. And it's now becoming so difficult to get to that point. And if you don't have disposable income, then you just can't do it, because you can't even afford to do a gig. You can't afford to tour. Artists are losing so much money. And I'm not sitting here whining like I love my job and I'm really passionate, but I do think that everybody should be able to be a musician. I don't think it should be a club for the rich. And that's why I'm being really vocal about that. And I started my campaign, Butts for Tour Buses, and an OnlyFans account to sell pictures of my arse to subsidise the losses on touring.
You've been very open about that, and I think people find that really refreshing.
Yeah, you're either angry about it or it's, you know, you get it. But either way, people are talking about it. And so my arse is shining a light on the issue, really, because people would say to me, like, why OnlyFans, Kate? And I'm like, because you wouldn't be interviewing me if I'd just said touring's really difficult. And so I wanted to do something punk and, like, really make a statement and get people talking about it. To realise that, like, if, you know, not to talk about myself in third person, but if Kate Nash is losing this much money and I'm struggling to make it happen, then someone who has less than me, how are they going to do it? And you don't start out with a catalogue. You don't start out with income. You know, you should be able to work towards that. But you're cutting a pipeline, and we're gonna lose out on so many incredible artists. I just think it's really I get really angry because it's disgrace that you should be cutting out working class people. Those are the voices I really want to hear from, actually.
What do you think needs to change?
So much needs to change.
Name one thing that you could change today.
Make streaming user-centric. Make wages, give artists a living wage, give us fair pay for streaming, and get rid of Live Nation.
Okay.
Kate Nash, thank you so much. Give it up for Kate Nash, everybody.
For tickets to see Kate Nash play at the Galway Arts Festival, head over to giaf.ie. She'll be performing with Sophie Ellis-Bextor. It's going to be great.